We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
The voice, but you're one of the crowd. A vision of weakness, you're dull, but your voice is so loud. I'm the butt of your joke, cause I draw more girls you hang round. You kill to make your imprint on my soul.
Good evening. Welcome to NUFC Matters, the Fans Forum. Full house tonight. George, Darren, Chippers, Dunnell, Pablo, Spenny, Alan, Ian and Kevin join us for an hour to talk about the recent events at St James's Park. 2 great wins. Newcastle United 4, Spurs 0. And the women winning 10-0 yesterday to secure promotion. A great black and white weekend and a good one for Mozza, one of our moderators in the chat, who took the bookies to the cleaners as well. So well done to Mozza. But George, great game at the weekend. Got to be honest, you and I were together pre-match. We had a few raised eyebrows at Eddie's team selection with Murphy. We didn't know what was going to happen, and I think probably for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes were justified. It looked a little bit as if Eddie dropped a bit of a clanger, but Newcastle found their feet. And once Isak scored, George, that was it. Newcastle just went into overdrive.
Well, I just want to say, I can't remember not just a win like for a long time like that, but the whole event of the match and pre and afterwards was absolutely fantastic. Something that I'll remember for a long time. I mean, everything about it was the plan came off. I mean, even the shirt thing with the deaf kids was a triumph. You know, and Dan Byrne is the local lad playing captain. You know, and he got this right when they scored. I mean, to watch those kids celebrating with them was was worth a great deal. Never mind all the football stuff. Frankly, I've sometimes been critical of Eddie occasionally, and you're right, Steve. We did raise eyebrows at the team selection, and it was perfectly clear to me and anybody else that was watching that he was going to play 3 at the back, and which I wasn't too upset about. What I was worried about, he was going to shift Dan Byrne to left back again, and that would be a travesty in my opinion, because it's Dan Byrne's earned his Spurs as a centre back at the moment, and fine, but. First few minutes it looked like we might be pressed down the wings again, but once Kraft settled in and Murphy himself settled in, it was no problem. What was fascinating to me was the way in which some of the so-called stars on the pitch disappeared as the game went on. I mean, Song demonstrated to his manager that he's not a centre forward. Because every time he got the ball with his back to their goal, he was passing it to one of us, and that's how we got 2 goals. I mean, it was just manna from heaven. Eddie Howe must have thought that all his sons had come at once. But credit to the lads, they dug in and they chased and they harried. It worries. It doesn't worry us. It amuses me in some ways that with big manager like Ange at Tottenham, and his sides playing the ball out from the back, they're clearly uncomfortable with our high press. They couldn't get the ball out of their own penalty area time and again, and yet he stuck with it. And I thought the second half he changed his team and changed his formation, but no, stuck exactly the same. And delighted because he was lucky in a sense because it could easily have been 6 or 7 with a little bit more application, a little bit of luck. It could have easily been 6 or 7. And we were all worried about injuries. What injuries? Ask Elliot Anderson what injuries. And ask others on the pitch that might not have been there. Livramento when he came on, and they all played their part. It was just so great to see the whole thing come together, and our manager get it right from start to finish. No doubt, no question about it. So great goals. I mean, again, they kept playing this high line with us having 3 greyhounds on the pitch. Every time the high line went up, Isak, Gordon, or the lad on the other side, Barnes, were ready for it and running them down. And the other thing that confirmed to me is that some of us were a bit disappointed we didn't get Maddison in the summer. Well, after Saturday, I'm glad we didn't, because after 2-0, his head went down. He couldn't be found. He Longstaff knocked him out of the game. I mean, that's the best game that Sean Longstaff's had for a long time. And Maddison just couldn't get a kick after a while. And after the second goal went down, his head went down and he disappeared. Well, if that's what you do when you're a top player and want more money and all that sort of thing, we don't want you at St James's Park. We want people like Bruno who roll their sleeves up and try even harder when we go down. And, it was just so many things coming together at once. It was fantastic. And tactics worked. Isak's pace. Before the match, and listen to the pundits. This Dutch centre half that Spurs have got, who's keeping Botman out the Dutch side. 1 or 2 people before the match were saying best centre back in the Premiership. Well, I'm sorry, we've got 4 in front of him. There was 2 on the pitch and 2 were injured, better than he was. He spent half the first half sitting on his backside chasing Isak. He couldn't keep his feet. I mean, absolutely incredible display by Isak of pace and control, and just a little more control, and he would have had a hat-trick and more. So, we've got so many things to rejoice. We've got a centre forward for the first time for a long time who's going to get into the 20s with goals. And we haven't had that for a while. So it just was a great day. And everything they tried was good. And I'd say the thing with the shirts, with the deaf kids, that all came off as well. And it just was a great day for Newcastle United as far as I'm concerned, and a one that I've enjoyed. And it's a long time since I enjoyed a match. An occasion like that. I keep calling it an occasion rather than just a match, because the whole thing worked for me, and that's quite important. The other thing is that football humour is always there. I love the way our fans latched on very quickly to all the various things that were happening. And Maddison got it when he went to take a corner, and had a go at the Spurs chairman as well. And then, because when the 4th goal went in, and started to sing, "It's happening again, Spurs, it's happening again." I thought that was just lovely, painful, but lovely if you're a Newcastle fan. So I don't want to hog it, but as you can gather, I could talk the whole bloody hour about Saturday. It was so good. And wrapped up with a great talk in at the end at the Irish Centre with Gibbo and Anderson. And sharing it all with our mates. It just made it a brilliant day. So came home a happy man on Saturday. Came home a happy man.
Good stuff. One person who can certainly change a mood is Darren. David Cook says, Darren was doom and gloom before the game. Shame I didn't get to see Ian. Darren, hey, Darren. David Cook won a ballot, so he was down at the game, and good to see a few of you met each other. Darren, so you were doom and gloom. Did you change your mind at the end of the game?
I thought it'd be a hard. I did thought it'd be a hard game. I think it'll be. I thought it'd be possibly 1-1, but then first, I would say about the game, first 25 minutes, the formation didn't work. Anyhow, changed it back the old way, 4-3-3, and he put Danburn left back, Kraft centre half with Shaw and Murphy on the right. And I thought it was clever, very tactically clever by Eddie Howe. He got him credit. The first 25 minutes, Tottenham were getting too easy. And it wasn't working, the 3-5-2 or 3. It didn't look right, so he changed it. And after we changed back the old way, we turned the style on, and Tottenham couldn't cope how we played. And from about the first 45 minutes, I thought we played great football, great passing. Bruno, two good balls from Bruno, the top. I've got to say the referee had a good game, Steve. For once, I thought he had a good game. The ref, I know, he done a good job. But Isak is just like lightning, isn't he? We need to tie him down a new cut now, because we're gonna have clubs sitting around for him come the summer. Anderson had a good game. Yeah. I haven't been a big fan of him, but he's had a good game on Saturday against Tottenham. And Danburn played left back. He did a good job left back when he went left back. Yeah. But you did, after the first 25 minutes, you moved to left back, because you'd see how it was set up. He
was fluctuating between one side and the other.
We did team formation halfway through the first half, because it wasn't working. I think that anyhow, I think he attacked Tottenham. I think Tottenham, he knew it wasn't working. Obviously, he's changed. I thought
he changed it, but I think he went more to five at the back and 3 in attack. That's what I thought he did. I can see why you would think that he went left back, but I think he left him at centre half. I think he went 5 at the back. Yeah. In fact, Jordy Tumba likes this message there.
Crap was with Shaw most of the second.
It was fluid. It was a fluid formation. That's what it was. He gave them an opportunity to be a bit more fluid, and I think it paid dividends. But look, the 3 in attack is what it was all about. And I think Steve Hasty and Mitch both called it on Friday. They both said if we score against Spurs and we can get another goal quite quickly afterwards, they'll collapse like a pack of cards, and they did. And that was the good thing, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, to say when the first one in, like it's like days as you, wasn't it? It's going to be 3 or 4 in the first half. So I was happy. I come away at the game really happy with the result. How we played, how we fought, how we classed Tottenham. I was expecting a lot more of Tottenham, so it's good to see a Tottenham Hotspur fan going home crying. So overall, I was happy. I got no complaints this weekend for the first time in a long time.
There you go, viewers. David Cook in particular. Darren is happy. Alan's over the moon. Alan used to have this tag. Now he's over the moon for Darren. We'll see who else gets it. For those of you who missed the eclipse, it's now happening in Dunnell's house by the looks of it, as it gets darker and darker there. He'll not be able to answer either, because he's on a time delay of about 45 seconds. So we'll come to him in a bit. Chippers, I've got to say hello to Mr. Ice is in the chat, who is there, our Liverpool fan. And he'll not be feeling too happy today. And Andy from the Villa's in. He's over the moon because we beat Spurs and they beat Arsenal. So interesting weekend for them. But yeah, Chippers, back to Newcastle. What did you make of that at the weekend?
Well, firstly, I think if David was going to have a chat with Ian before the match, he probably would have missed the 2 goals on the half hour, because he would have been stood talking to him still. So thankfully he didn't meet him. But yeah, I was at work, so I watched the game on Saturday night for fully, because I thought, well, 4-0 over Spurs, I'll have to watch it all to see what the crack is. Didn't watch much of the day because I thought, what I've been told, I've missed a lot of the good parts out of it, which is a shame, but typical match of the day, so I watched it fully. I think the first 20 minutes looked a bit disjointed. I thought players didn't know the rules and that, and then just a little tweak, which, Eddie seemed to do with Fulham last week as well. He tweaked it a little bit and it worked. And I have no idea why they played a high line against them three up front. It was criminal. I don't think Postecoglou learned anything, I don't think he did any research on the three strikers that we had up front, because one thing you don't do against pace is give them as much space as they want. The balls that we didn't exactly work hard to score them goals. It was a case of Bruno up the field and into Gordon and Isak 1-0. Second one, another ball upfield, their keeper hashed it. Defender stupidly, I don't know what the defender's doing, playing it backwards. Player slips, 2-0. Second one, ball upfield, Isak through 1-on-1 from his own half, 3-0. Fourth goal from a corner. It was just so easy. Excuse me. It was just so easy. It was just, for considering we had 20% of the ball, I think that was the
Yeah.
You know, a 4-0 domination with 20% of the football, and again, it's football's 9/10 of the law, isn't it? What's what you do with it? It's and they 70% possession, but all they do is pass it backwards and sideways. There was nothing about them, and I think we got the right player from Leicester now. I mean, I wanted Maddison this summer as well, but Harvey Barnes looks the better player and looks the player that'll put his roll his sleeves up and get on with it. Whereas Maddison, as soon as the first goal went, and he just didn't want any part of it. He's actually is he the best striker since Shearer that we've had? It's got to be up there. I mean, and I still don't think he's a striker. I still think he's a winger. But
so do I.
He's proven me wrong. Just everything was good on Saturday, and you can't really fault anything. You can't put a complaint in. You can't say this player didn't. I mean, Dubravka at times I think a bit iffy, but he kept a clean sheet, which is all you can ask for. And I think we can catch Spurs now. Was it 10 points of the gap? And you see their fixtures, they've got to play. Was it all of that fellow top four around again? So when you look at our fixtures, there's no reason why we can't go 6 games unbeaten now. The fixtures that we've got on paper are as easy as what we would like, but again, it's played on grass, isn't it? So Palace beat Liverpool yesterday. You would say, "Oh, that was a game we should go and win." We beat Liverpool. You know that's the Premier League, but I think we can win all 6 games, and then we've got players to come back as well. It's 11 players out injured, and we're playing like that. I mean, it's remarkable. We've scored more goals than Tottenham. We've scored more goals than Villa, more goals than Entertainers, team of 96, 97, and yet we're only 5th. That team finished second.
Yeah.
It's quite staggering, but that shows how the Premier League's evolved since then. But yeah, it was a good day Saturday, and I'm glad we beat Spurs because everyone's been talking them up this season. I think we just put them in their place.
Well, Donald, I'm going to come to you. It'll take 45 seconds for you to get that message. So in the meantime, I'm going to read out Spenny's message, which was Ben Spratt, who had put something up on Twitter. He put, Gordon, Isak and Barnes have played 136 minutes together in the Premier League this season, in which time Newcastle have scored 8 goals, 1 every 17 minutes, and conceded none. 3 goals for Isak, 2 for Barnes, and 1 for Gordon. 3 assists for Gordon and 1 for Isak. That's quite a stat, that. Thanks for sending us that, Spenny. Amazing. But, yeah. Donald, a good result. What did you make of that at the weekend, mate?
We showed quality, fight, and bite in the tackle, especially that first tackle from Fabian Schär on Son. Son was... He gave Son something to think about when he, put the foot in on him. And the first goal, I thought there was that shows a striker in form where, if you look back on it again, Isak held his run and waited for the ball to be played before he, stuck it in the back of the net. So that showed a striker in form. And I think on James Maddison, quality player when he's on his game, but his temperament is questionable, isn't it? And because he's been a very lucky boy in 2 games that he hasn't seen a different colour card other than yellow. So yeah. So all in all, probably one of the best performances of the season. And I would say Gordon's got himself corner duties for the next game, because that ball in for Schär's header was absolute quality, I thought. And obviously, the header to finish it off, absolutely brilliant. Off the pitch, I think we showed what a real football club is. with what they did for the deaf kids, etc. The haptic shirts, yeah, and all in all, what we witnessed on Saturday, one of the best performances of the season. Play like that, and hey, we get Europe, simple as.
Pablo, good to see you, mate. Welcome back. You've been working hard, keeping the wheels of industry turning, but you're back, and that was a great win, wasn't it, at the weekend?
Phenomenal, mate. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you look at the window of, like kind of the Luton Forest games, I'm going to be perfectly honest here and put my hands up. I actually started to go a bit negative on us, thinking, oh, here we go again. We're going to peter. Obviously, there were circumstances around that, which I understood. But Jesus Christ, I mean, how well have we done to come back from all that? The West Ham games, fair enough, the Everton a draw. And now to smash Tottenham like that. And obviously the lads have looked at the tactics and that side of it. From what I saw from minute one was just pure endeavour, hard work, and good. That was the ultimate thing. Tottenham could have done it. They could have played 52-5, 1 up, whatever. Just sheer blood and guts and an actual determination to put right or to get every tackle right, to at least give it some. And look what happens when you do that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to come away with something. We've seen it in spells. We were conceding a shed load of goals at one point. But I tell you, that defence that he put out on Saturday, I was the same as you, thinking, I messaged you, it's either going to be heroes or zeros. They're going to be heroes or we're going to get whacked. And fair play to them, they were heroes. It was absolute class all the way throughout the team. Harvey Barnes, unreal. Isak, unreal. I don't need to say it because the lads have kind of looked at each players, but I feel sorry for Sean Longstaff. I mean, everyone was having worldies. I mean, I know he was doing his job and he was drafting, but I think he was watching at certain points because the lads were just like everywhere. They were like fireflies. It was class to watch. Man United next, isn't it? So I think get over that hurdle. Is it not Man United next?
Crystal Palace, Pablo. Crystal Palace away.
Yeah, Palace. Yeah,
Palace.
Yeah. I think the Palace game's obviously winnable. The Man United one's going to be the sticky patch, maybe. But is it? They've not really been performing. So, yeah, you can't say anything other than positive, can you? There's nothing negative to look at Saturday. Everything is absolutely bang on. I just hope we can continue that work rate. Show that work rate every game. Absolutely no problem. And I'm now looking at Tottenham and thinking, well, if they show up every week and play like they did against us, who knows? You never know. Spenny might get his wish. We might actually be there, and I might have to eat humble pie.
No.
It's really number 5, Pablo.
No,
because I never saw them winning on Saturday.
Spenny, your thoughts, mate, of the match of the weekend?
Hi, mate. The match of the weekend, I thought the first 20 minutes we were under the cosh a bit and we were 50-50 in the game until the defender got the world-class defender anyway, got booed. That changed the game, really. He changed the formation. I was very, very pleased what Eddie did on Saturday. He obviously been listening to us on here saying we should be playing Anderson and Barnes all the time because he picked it from the start, which was the right way to do. And I thought Anderson was absolutely fantastic.
Agreed.
It was brilliant. Yeah. All the middle of the park between Byrne, Shah, Bruno, Anderson and Isak, spine of the team, straight up. Even Dubs had a good game, even though he wasn't bothered. All good for me. But Gordon was absolutely fantastic. He was just showing his class again. And I love the interview at the end of what Gordon said. When the interviewer said, oh, you've scored 11 great goals this season. He says, and you've scored 9 at home. And he just turned around and says, yeah, that means I need to improve because I need to score more away games. That's what he said. That's the attitude of Gordon. And for me, a lot of people said Gordon was man of the match. For me, I watched him burn. It was immense on Saturday. Absolutely immense. And for me, he should be captain all the time. He's absolutely fantastic in that position. And he's sorting that defence out because he's talking to them, he's communicating with them all the time, which we needed. So for me, Byrne was man of the match for me. But I'm absolutely delighted with the result. Spurs don't do very well up here, do they? And after all, we might not get 9th place now, Darren, we might get a bit higher. Here's your prediction.
I don't think much higher than that, though.
Higher than 9th?
There he goes.
I think it'll be finished 7th at best.
I was going to say before, I don't know where the bigger delay is, the Mickey van der Ven or Dunhill, 45 seconds. I don't know.
We'll be getting complaints because Darren's bite his fingers again. I'm going to have to put some vinegar on them fingers, Darren. Alan, what about you, mate? What's your thoughts? You used to be the doom and gloom merchant on here.
Well, it was a great win, lads.
Bottle this, lads. We're going to bottle this, Alan. We're going to bottle this enthusiasm.
It was a fantastic win. Regarding George mentioned about James Maddison, he should have been sent off, obviously. The first time with a body check.
Absolutely.
And the laughable thing for me when I was screaming at the TV screen, Dan Byrne done the same to him and he wanted him booked. 10 minutes later when he didn't get booked for the same thing. So never mind the Murphy challenge. So 2 yellows, he should have been gone. So that points out the window with James Maddison. I think we've got the best deal with Harvey Barnes, to be honest. Really do. Every result went our way on Saturday, lads. West Ham getting beat was tremendous. It's been mentioned in the chat as well. I'll try and get through all the points. We play Crystal Palace. We play Sheffield United. It's not a given because the one good thing about Palace winning, like Chip has said, it's not going to be easy. They're going to have that. But they play West Ham on the Sunday before they play us. If we beat Crystal Palace and Sheffield United, we're 4 points behind Spurs. And they play Arsenal the next year. So the pressure is going to be on Spurs if, and it's a big if, lads, because we've got 4 away and 2 at home. But we're in pole position. We've got everything to play for. It's great. And this is where, normally I agree with Darren, but this is where I disagree with him. We've got a great opportunity to be 6th. And we can chase down Spurs. We really can, with the fixtures they've got. Regarding the incident with not changing the formation, that's what a lot of fans are complaining about at Spurs, that Angie's only got one way. Like a lot of fans have complained about Eddie Howe having one system. But he's only played one season and he's got to learn. But less of the Spurs manager, that was Eddie Howe outthinking him. And, Unai Emery has been, Eddie Howe's outthought him twice this season, and yet he's regarded as a great coach, which he is. So, these Eddie Howe fans that want him gone, want a big name player, namely come outside the area, lads. If you watch the outside podcasts, they're still all calling for Eddie Howe. Newcastle will sack him, and I'm thinking, well, it's not from the fans, because they talk about Chelsea wanting Eddie Howe, and you think, does he really want to go to a place where they don't want him? Because they did, just like they didn't want Rafa at Chelsea. Eddie's best here, and really he's got a skyscraper to build here. And I want him here for another 2 or 3 years. If he's got 20 quality players, lads, and he's still not doing the business, then you get rid of him. But we had Dad's Army coming on at the end still, lads. Dummett and Richie. He's still got a long, big, hard job to do. If we finish 6th, it's been an absolute miracle. And he deserves all the credit going. Great win, lads. I'll let Ian get on.
And good evening to...
good evening to come back as well. Big Joe to come back in pub.
Yeah, well, Callum Wilson will be back as well in the next couple of weeks, and Trippier is going to be back. We're going to have a few. Eddie's going to have a few nice problems for a change of who he's going to pick. Good evening to the coffee drinking Ian, only because he's drunk enough alcohol to sink the Titanic at the weekend. He was saying.
He's fine on me.
What did you make of that, then, Ian?
Excellent. Really, really good result. I think the main thing that came out of it again, which has been shown time and time again, is that when we have 11 decent players on the pitch and they're all fit. All right, we didn't have much on the bench, but when we go after a team like that, we are dangerous. And also, what it showed is that Tottenham don't like it up them, as they used to say in Dad's Army. They capitulated once we scored that first goal. They completely switched off for the second goal, and then they I think they gave up. To be honest, it was an embarrassment for them, really. But I thought a couple of things that people haven't covered, because most of the stuff's been covered, I think, by the other lads. Kraft, I thought, was excellent. Got to give him his dues, because he was rubbish the other week when he played, but I thought he was excellent. And yeah, everybody else is sort of covered everything else. Dan Burn, brilliant as captain. It'll be an hard choice. It'll get taken off him, but I think he has really shown how good what he lacks maybe on the playing side of things. Technically, he more than makes up on that with balls and heart and the respect to the players that are playing around him. He was excellent. Atmosphere in the ground was mint, I thought. Even at the start, it was good where I was sat anyway. They had a little sing-song for about 5 minutes, and then I'll calm down. So yeah, all in all, top result. I'm paying for it now. Suffering after that. So yeah,
Good
great
stuff.
thanks.
Good. You haven't chased hair of the dog tonight, though, so that's good. Kevin, look, that stat that I read out from Spenny before from that journalist was really interesting. That, but when you've got your best players available, you're going to score goals. And we haven't been able to play those three for the vast part of the season together. But it was an interesting formation to say the least, and a little bit of tinkering from. Is that going to be his new nickname, the Tinker Man? Do you think, Eddie Howe?
No, you can't take that from Ranieri. That's set in stone for him. No, but I was actually, like I've been saying for weeks on this platform, that we need to go and tinker, excuse the phrase, that we've got to go to a 3 and overload in midfield. And disagree with Darren. We played a 4-3, 4-3-3, a 3-4-3, a 5-4-1, a 3-4-2-1. So
4-3-3 I've seen as well. Like
like Steve said, the word fluidity. When at certain times and certain moments in games, the intensity was there. Yes, it might take 15 minutes to learn a new system against a top 4 side or top 6 side in the Premier League. So that takes time. Yes, he's worked on it in the week with apparently a low number. So you can't exactly do a full phase of play session or a shadow play session in that type of regard. So anyway, I thought it was a brilliant move by Eddie Howe, and my little thing under my name is a tactical masterclass in terms of how to nullify another team. Basically, when he got Maddison, who's apparently one of the best number 10s in the Premier League, can't break us down. That's a bit of a problem. And we nullified their threat. We made them go backwards and made them go sideways. And we just played on the counter-attack, and we pressed when we had to press. And I've always said, you have to press with your. Do you press with your heart or you press with your head? If you go, you go. And when we went, and we won the initial duels. When the ball came forward into our middle third and beyond, we won that first duel, just like we do in a high press of a 4-3-3. But when that ball goes and misses that press, we win that from like a Dan Burn or a Fabi Shaw or Emil Kraft was even doing it, whatever. But within the shape itself, I've wrote it down here. Yes, I've got it as a 3-4-3. But when we lost the ball, it's a new thing what everybody's doing in terms of the top level managers, and it takes time to work on. When we lose the ball, Gordon and Barnes tucked in and made a little like a box of 4, and left Isak on by himself. Murphy dropped in, Anderson dropped in, and he made a 5. And so you play like essentially a square in midfield, and you overload them centrally, and so they can't play, and leave Isak up top. And again, it was a fabulous display of how to outdo another manager. And yes, Aaron Postecoglou was generally the nice man of football, and he'll compliment, but he couldn't look at the camera and say directly into the camera that Newcastle were the better side, and he was looking at his shoes half the time through in his post-match interview, which was sad. But overall, I thought Elliot Anderson set the tone with Gordon on that side, just with his combativeness and his ability to actually tackle somebody versus being standoffish. Across the park, you could pick anybody who was man of the match, in my opinion. But I think one of the in the start chat was about Isak. He's in the top 2, top 3 best centre forwards in the Premier League. If not saying if the world, but in Europe at this moment in time, because this lad's world class. If you get the ball to him 18 yards out from goal, or top of the 18-yard box, you know where it's going, because he's literally ice cold. His composure, his knowledge of where he is in the game, his football IQ, if you want to call it that, is literally world class. And if you get him into these particular areas where we win the ball back and you just tell him to play in between the width of the 18-yard box, he'll destroy any centre-half. I don't care who you are. Even though I didn't know too much about their centre-half, I thought he was absolutely disgraceful, to be perfectly honest. You know, so it doesn't matter who you play against. If you've got the movement and if you've got the quality against them, then you're gonna find out who's the better footballer on the day. And I thought, you know, like the lads have said, the initiatives from Seller, the whole atmosphere around the whole place, it was just a fabulous display. Again, the Eddie Howe's comment regarding us being clinical when we had the ball, that was the thing. When you have less possession of the ball, when you get it, you have to be clinical, and that's what we were. We were clinical. We would cut throat, and you know that it could have been 5 or it could have been more than 4. With the set plays that we had, with certain moments in the game. Elliot Anderson should have been possibly scored when the keeper saved. Kraft hit the post when he hit it off his shin pretty much, and it almost went in. Just moments like that. But again, it's positive moving forward. You know, and I think if we again go on a run, you know, the games that we have, yes, it's not like again what Chipper said. It's not played on paper; it's played on grass. If we go on a little run here, I'm not saying we're not going to get beat because it's football that could happen. But at the same time, if we draw Palace, beat Burnley at home, beat Sheffield United at home, or wherever we've got to play them, I think we can probably catch Tottenham. And I think again where the chase is this time, and I don't think Tottenham like being chased because they'll just crumble like they did at the weekend. But overall, it was a fantastic watch. Brilliant from Eddie Howe. He's actually developed and learned and seen what Tottenham probably caused in others. He's probably took a little leaf out of Pep's book and went to a 3 and changed it around a little bit. But that's what you got to do. And he's learning. He's a coach. That's what we do. We learn. We develop and grow your tactics and you grow your team and to play different ways. So overall, brilliant weekend. Congratulations to the women's team because that's an actual trophy in the cabinet for once. So that's a positive from the club's perspective and all the way around. Like George said, right at the top of it, it's just a fantastic spectacle to go and watch it or be involved in it in some capacity.
Great stuff. Okay, we are slightly over the ads break, but we'll take a little break now. Back after this. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website skipsandbins.com, easy contract free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. Their website, mrvickies.co.uk, telephone 01768 210 102, or email info@mrvickies.co.uk. Thanks to United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com, email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com, telephone 01670 632 460, or mobile 0791 666 4174. Thanks to Media Arts for the technical side of things. And you can also find us as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. You can subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button underneath this video. Hit the all notifications bell so you don't miss a show. Hit the thumb up to like the channel and click share to your social media. If you want to join the channel, then click join for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become a member, for a one-off £25 payment, email john@nufcmatters.com or go to membership at the website nufcmatters.com. If you've got a smartphone, hold your camera over the QR code and it'll take you straight there. We also help the food bank on this channel. Go to nufcfansfoodbank.co.uk to the matchday bucket and you can leave a virtual donation today. And don't forget the end of season due, 20th of July, 5 o'clock until late. Get your tickets from newcastlelegends.com or nufcmatters.com. Super Matt and Gibbo, George and the Longsands will be on stage. It's all in aid of Dementia Matters, and we'll have Bev Reed there from the charity as well to tell you a little bit about it. But tickets are a tenner, on sale now. Tickets selling well for that. Gibbo and Super Matt have also asked us to give this a bit of a push. They are on with Chris Cross at the Gibbside Hotel in Wickham. So that should be a canny little night. Tickets are a tenner, and that is on the 23rd of April. So get yourself along to support Super Mac and Chris Cross there. 7:30 until 9 o'clock for the show time. So an early night on St. George's Day should be a cracking little event that. Okay, welcome back to NUFC Matters. This is the Fans Forum. Quite a result over the weekend for Newcastle. Question from Tom Dixon came in at the start. I quite like this one. Where does Alexander Isak rank in the list of Premier League strikers that we've had, George? You know, we've only had him for what, just over 2 seasons. We're coming into 2 seasons with him. He's hit 21 goals already. Still 6 games to go. Where does he rank for you? Bearing in mind, Callum Wilson's gone in now, and he's in the top 2, isn't he? Just behind Big Al with his strike rate, despite his injuries. Demba Ba, I suppose we've had in recent years, but Alan Shearer is the benchmark. Where does Alexander Isak fit in, George?
Well, if he progresses the way he started, he's going to be up there with Alan Shearer, because he has attributes that even Alan didn't have. He has touch skills that Alan never had. Alan was the hard man, the chaser. I can remember balls that Shearer would chase that nobody else would chase, but got goals from just because Shearer kept going. Alexander Isak has the kind of silky skills that Alan didn't have, the soft touch. That's the difference. And if he keeps progressing, let's face it, his mentor is Ibrahimovic, one of the best strikers in the world. Is talked about Alexander Isak being going to be one of the best in the world, never mind the Premier League. But at the moment, he's up there with the best. He's sitting alongside Alan Shearer, and if he progresses the way he is, if he keeps going, he can get a few seasons top scorer. We might be building another bloody statue outside the ground, because that's the sort of skill he's got. It's just that fine touch that he's got that Alan didn't have. Alan could hit the volley and all the tough stuff. But when it comes to the dainty stuff, he left that to Peter Beardsley. Well, Alexander Isak doesn't need to do that. He can do it himself, and that's a great combination. Having that skill, that football ability. He seems to be well knowledgeable in football as well. He's already knocking on the door, being one of the best. He's not there yet, but he's not far away. And I don't think his strike rate's far behind Wilson's either.
Craig Lee says Isak has everything to be the best in the world. Kids a different kind of gravy. Marcus O'Reilly says Isak more prolific than Haaland. He needs more games, but I've seen enough. He's world class. Arthur Bainbridge says Isak is a cross between Andy Cole and Les Ferdinand. Benny says he's third. Shearer, Cole, and Isak. Dean Charlton mentions the legend Frank Pingle. Chip, I knew you'd like that one, Chippers. But yeah, where does he stand for you in strikers?
I mean, he's up there, isn't he? But people have seemed to forgot Les Ferdinand as well, and I know that little rat Michael Owens was here as well, but he still put the ball in the bat on there for when he played, which was very, very infrequent. But it's scary how good he is, and the thing is, we haven't seen the best of him. There's still a lot more to come from him. When we get his injuries sorted out as well, he's going to play more games. He's going to score more goals. Well, I've got my toes and fingers crossed, Alan. But it's frightening. It really is. The thing is, I've said since he came last year, he's got that Henri about him where he can drift on the wings. He's just got that touch. He oozes class, and it's been ages since I've said that about a player. playing black and white. I mean, we'll say it about Bruno, and we've said it about Botman and Patches when he's played, but he's the real deal. It's just remarkable how we've got him. You think of all the clubs in the world that have needed strikers and needed a player of his ability, and we somehow managed to get him. Whether that's down to the man who's doing his garden right now, I don't know. It's frightening where you've got him, and we've just got to keep him. It's as simple as that. You can, like, people say, "Oh, sell this player for FFP," and all that. You can't sell these type of players because they're world class, and you know, I want to see the best of them in a black and white football shirt. I don't want to see, like, for me, when Andy Cole was here, we knew what he was capable of, but he went and won everything at Man U, didn't he? We didn't really see that here. I want that at Newcastle. I don't want it anywhere else. And it's just, I mean, Peter Krause on Saturday hasn't got electrifying pace. Well, I don't know what he's watching, because they did the Henry comparison after the game, and he said he's got everything but electrifying pace. Well, no offense, Peter Crouch, you weren't exactly fat yourself to say that. Because I say somebody who's a whippet, and he'll have the pace when he uses it and when he needs to use it. He's so versatile, like I said as well. If you want to play him on the wing and we're signing another striker on somewhere, you could probably do that, and you could still probably score 20 goals from being a winger. I'd say, you know, it depends how long he's going to be here for. But I want him here for the rest of his career and his injury record and things like that. But he's very close to being up there. I mean, you know, do you compare the likes of Milburn and that with him as well? You know, George will be able to say that more than most.
Yes.
It's literally, it's great to watch, and I'm just like I said, we've got to do everything we've got to make sure he stays in Newcastle for the best times of his career, because he's just going to keep scoring goals, and as I said,
the biggest compliment I can pay him is that if Wilson leaves in the summer, he should be given the number 9 shirt. That's if he's happy to take it. Derek says Alex Isak could definitely challenge for the top. Isak has better goals per minute than Haaland, says Muzza. David McLeod says I rate him better than Haaland. His build-up play is far superior to his. Jonathan says Isak's well on his way to becoming one of our greatest strikers of all time if he stays fit and hopefully stays with us. He's a legend in the making. Paul Toon says depends on the opposition high line. It makes it easy for Isak. Isak's a modern-day Thierry Henry, says Yano. Blue Rhythm Boy says Cisse was underrated. He scored some belters, like. And Jules says Isak will help the team track back and support. Look for the ball if the supply is lacking. For all Haaland's plaudits, I find him lazy, just waiting for the ball. Gary says he's world-class for me too. His technical ability, cool clinical finishing make him a very special player, and he's not reached his peak yet. Jonathan thinks Ferdinand takes some beating. It's like Beardsley and Cisse had a love child, says Craig. Paul Charlton changing subjects slightly, says Chipper is the spit of Marty Feldman. Is that better than John Parrott? I'm not sure.
God, no.
Paul Lad says Isak's up there with the legend Paul Kitson. He's a good lad, Paul. I still see him, to be honest. Throw in Mike Lannick. We were told he was the new Huey Gallagher. He wasn't.
Well, Dalglish as well.
Beardsley and Cole is now Gordon and Isak. And Isak is good, but his knee Shefty Coochie, says Danny Craig. Can it sell Isak, period. Donald, lots of positivity coming in for Isak. Is he one of the best strikers that we've had at the club for many a year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in Isak, you've got 2 players in one. Somebody who's equally comfortable playing through the middle or on the flank. So, you know, essentially you paid 63 million for, in a sense, you know, a 2-in-1 striker. And we really haven't had that in the past in terms of our number 9s, have we? I mean, okay, I don't remember the Milburn era, but when you think of during most of our times, like of Shearer, Ferdinand, they were out and out front men, yeah? Whereas Isak is equally as comfortable on the flanks. So he's a special player. And as I say, when he scored that first goal on his debut against Liverpool, you know, we've got something here. You knew from there on, we had something there. Just on the looking at the sort of downside, hopefully, you know, he stays fit and he stays with us, because, you know, we've definitely got something special there. So he's definitely up there with some of the best of modern times. Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly is. People are saying, do not look up Marty Feldman. Unfortunately, I did, and well, I knew who he was anyway. I was trying to find a complimentary photograph, Chippers.
You might not that bad yet. I mean, give us another 10 years, might be, but you know.
Don't worry. Kev, Isak, has he got what it takes to be a Newcastle United goal scoring legend?
Yes, but he's a completely different player to what we've seen in the past. He's not the traditional centre forward. He's a completely different mould. And I just wrote a couple of things down for a 24-year-old who's technically one of the best I've ever seen. You know, he's got a sublime touch. It's velvet. The way he shifts the ball, his feet are on people. He can bring players into play, but it's not just lumping it up and flicking it on for somebody because that's just not his game. If you bring him into play, if he brings players into play with ball at his feet and create some other movement, and then the opportunities are endless for the lad. Again, it's just his fitness level. Like I said earlier, his calmness in the final third is just obscene. It's just ridiculous, and it's just a pleasure to watch the 24-year-old grow with our club and the project that we've got going. Again, I can't remember who said it, but if we sign somebody else, I'd be quite happy to play him either on the right or the left. It doesn't matter. He's versatile. All of the above, and I can't wait for him to, even though he's got 21, but let's get him to 20, 25. Let's get him beyond those numbers, what we haven't seen for a very, very long time. And, I just looked up his market value. It's $74 million, 74 million or whatever it is. I mean, he's worth probably double that what he produced this year. And again, like whoever said it, we just need to see more of him. We just need to see a consistent run, and we're getting to see that, and he's producing goals. It's ridiculous, the confidence that I think the whole other 10 have in him to get him the ball in certain areas, and you know that you're going to see him score. You've just got to get him in the right areas, and it's going to be a goal. So yeah, long may it continue, and hopefully we can get somebody along beside him. They can just literally, as they would say, we're showing goat to feed the goat, and he'll be world class, which he already is.
Yeah, interesting Blue Rhythm boy. I don't think he will. I think Ollie Watkins will probably nab that this year. You know, he's in good goal scoring form, but you never know with these last 6 games, and especially with Sheffield United to play. You know, Isak's due a hat trick before the end of the season. You just never know. He's going to run it close. Mike, I wouldn't believe anything that the newspapers say, mate. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there, Mike. I haven't seen the article, for example, but I can't see it happening, mate. Mute your mate. You're making me jump, Pablo, says Jules. You must have coughed there, mate, and frightened Jules. She's sensitive. She's a sensitive soul. Spenny, there you go, mate. You've jumped the queue. There you go. You must have had a gold wristband on. What about Alexander Isak, mate? Where do you see him in our illustrious list of strikers over the years?
Before I start, I think Chipper looks like Paul Heaton from the beautiful South, to be honest. That's what I think he looks like.
All right.
He's in my top 5.
He looks like Sam Chippers to me.
Probably George. In my top 5, I've got Cole Shearer, Quinn and Ferdinand. I've got Isak fifth of my time watching Newcastle. So he's a good place. That's him.
Yeah,
he's my fifth place.
What? Really? Who's he?
Yeah, okay.
And he gets cold as well. And he's fifth now. 5th place. For me, I think he's better than Mark McGee even. And I love Mark McGee when he played with Quinn. But I think he's better than CC. I think he's better than Barr. I think he's better than Wilson. He's reminded me of Henry, to be honest. The way Henry comes in from the wing and brings it in and scores. He scores a different way than Henry. But going back to Saturday's game, I think he missed the easy ones and scored the hard ones. That was the best thing about it for me.
You know what? He reminds me of Loic Remy. Loic Remy was the best lone striker we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And I was so hoping he would stay, and of course he didn't. We wouldn't spend the money on him, but yeah, he reminds me very much of him, and Isak's got that Thierry Henry thing about him. Pablo, give us your view on Isak. Where is he in your all-time strikers at Newcastle?
Firstly, someone stole my thunder. Ian Brownlee was going to say Stefan Givarch. I was going to put him hang up there.
World Cup winner.
World Cup winner, yeah. Terrible for us though.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, as regards a complete striker, I mean, I'm kind of like the Shearer past, them kind of players. So Shearer's always going to be number one for me, no questions asked. He is a very complete player. I mean, the lads have been bigging him up, and he is amazing. He's like, I think the thing about a striker is you can have all the different attributes in the world. It's all about putting it in the onion bag and having that calmness in the area. And I actually don't see many around world football, never mind the Premier League, that are much better than him when that time arises.
Yeah.
The only thing I could say, and I think Spenny's just nailed it, the easy ones came on Saturday, and he seemed to miss the easy ones. Maybe a bit, I've said it on here before, I'd just like him to be a bit more robust, a bit stronger, but he ain't that kind of player, is he? So, I don't know, it's on your Christmas wish list, I'd want him to be better in the air and stronger, and then he is the ultimate striker. But I don't think there's anybody in time that's ever been the ultimate striker, is there, without something that could be improved. But yeah, phenomenal. And so yeah, number 2 for me.
Okay, interesting. Ian?
That I've won it. Probably I'd say where he is now, probably number 3 behind Shearer and Ferdinand for me. But where he could be, number 2, I think. I don't think anyone's going to get over Shearer for me, but yeah, I think he's excellent. He's got. Hopefully, we tie him down and keep him for a long time.
That's another lookalike, by the way, guys. Apparently, he does the Newcastle blog. That's another Chippers lookalike.
Ian Smith.
Right, is this because I've seen you get all the shit?
Well, apparently that's an NUFC blogger called Ian Smith.
They've got sick of making hasty look like dogs. That's what it is, Chippers. They're looking for something else.
We've got George. He look like George is the spitting image of the professor of Fireball XL5, apparently.
I wish I had his bloody money.
and his hair, George. Alan.
I
don't know. I'm doing all right with me bald part.
He's the top of my top 5 for me. He's Stefan Givarch, George Riley, Bobby Stinton, Frank Pringle. He's got to be top of them, lot. No, seriously, lads. I think he's probably, so far, he's moving up the rankings, like Spenny said. I think he's probably 4th. I still think Cole was absolutely phenomenal. Strike rate, goals per game. Les Ferdinand, and obviously the big man himself, Alan Shearer, in my lifetime. And then Supermac. I think he's just going to be Supermac for me.
What about Bellamy? What do we think? Nobody's mentioned
What about
Bellamy.
you?
Craig Bellamy.
No.
Supermac. A lot of people saying Supermac hasn't been mentioned.
Yeah. Well, Supermac's not in my era. That's why I never mentioned him. Supermac, Jack, you can go back to George's era. You go to Milburn. You go to Gallagher, even further back. They're other players.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go past. I wouldn't go. Len White's a good shout. I wouldn't go past into Gallagher's era because, in my regard, they were different kind of footballers. They just were footballers. They weren't fit enough. They wouldn't last 5 minutes today.
You're right, George.
It's a different game then as well. Back in the 50s, 60s, it was a different game then as well compared to now.
You get fucking pissed before you get the match when you're ready.
So I regard him as number 4 for me, lads, at the minute. But if he stays fit, like I crossed my fingers when Chippers was saying, he can certainly shoot up that ladder if he stays fit and he's with a long time. The amount of other podcasts I keep on saying it, lads, I think he's away at Arsenal. And I'm thinking, where did they get that from, And we've got to keep our blue chip brigade together, lads. And that's when we'll find out this summer where we're going, heading. 3 or 4 quality players in the summer with these 3 that we've got, Gordon, Isak, Bruno, you could put in Botman and that, then we are going places, lads, and that's why I'm so excited for the future. I just wish I was 30 years younger, because you can see what's happening in the future, you know. I want it now.
I thought you were about turning out up front, Al. I thought you was going to get your boots on then, 30 years younger. I thought you was going to challenge Isak.
For years, he's supplying, like Kevin said, he's just got that quality in that. And I agree. I don't know if it was Ian or whatever who said about him not being quick, or Chippers even not being quick, where asked Jamie Carragher that, because straight away when he saw him at Liverpool, when he scored his first goal, his first words were, "This guy is sharp." In his words, sharp, and he is sharp.
Definitely.
So it's number 4 for me, Steve.
Yeah, some interesting ones. I mean, it depends on your era. Ian Brownlee says Nile Ranger.
Good at shooting.
Well, there's a sin. That could have been the name that we could have all been chanting now if he'd gone down the right path. He got involved with bloody Wises lot in London, and he's a bloody gangster now.
Yeah. Carl Court.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Carl Court. I remember seeing Carl Court, and I swear to you, I've never seen an arse on a footballer like it. It was like, and I was sat in the
I bet he scored more goals with it than he did with his bloody feet.
Probably, mate. Probably.
Big Dunk would have been a good shout if he stopped a bit longer. Big Dunk and Ferguson.
Yeah.
Dunk.
Big Dunk, yeah. He was a
big Dunk, yeah.
He was a big lump. Okay, Daz.
He's at number 4 for me. Shearer, Ferdinand, Andy Cole, and then Isak. He's got a long way to go to get the number 2 for me. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's fast, he's quick, it's just for me, he's his heading. That's what he needs to work on for me. Because he's when balls in the air when he crosses coming on. So he's number 4 for me. He might get number 3 if he's lucky. I'd call, but at the minute it's number 4.
Okay. Yeah, Mickey Quinn was one of mine. I've got to be honest. I think Mark Byers put that up there as well. There, so yeah, I think that's a good
Daniel Cordone from Argentina.
Good hairband. Patrick Kluivert. You forget you almost forget. You forget we actually had him, don't you?
Yeah.
Had him 10 years too late. That's the trouble.
Yeah. We got past his sell-by date by the time we got Kluivert.
He was partying it all the time, Donald. He was partying it all the time.
Yeah. I've heard those.
He was partying all the time here.
There's Mark Shearer, Cole, Isak, Bar, and Quinn in that order for me. He says. And Ches put a thing in earlier on, which I do want to. Mike actually lost the case to sell Adidas shirt at his shop, but should they allow other shops to sell to support local retailers, or make sure that every shirt sale goes directly to the club for FFP? It's a good question, Ches. Keep that in your mind, and we will come back to that probably on Wednesday or Friday. But please,
the court case is still going on as well, Steve. It hasn't actually finished. That court case.
Yeah. Good shout, Spenny. Sado Dunbar or anyone? Yeah, how old was he, Mark? I don't think anybody ever found out. Of course, we had Andreas Anderson. Andreas Anderson's another one. Kit Napier. My God, Sam, where did you dig that one up from?
Remember Kit Spire?
Yeah, John Dahl Thomason as well.
Paul Kitson.
I felt sorry for him though, Steve. John Dahl Thomason. He went on to win the European Cup.
Went on to win the Champions League. Yeah.
Shearer got injured and he was left.
All the team got injured, didn't
he? Finish up with a couple of more look-alike. Go on, Donald.
Yeah, I was going to say John Dahl Thompson was played in the wrong position. He felt he wasn't an out-and-out front.
Oh, he was. But Shearer got injured at Goodison Park, and he got thrust up front, and he was never a striker. And he went one-on-one in his first game at the Gallagher, and missed it, and never really recovered from that. So there we go. Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Chippers. That's you on the left. In fact, that's Darren on the right.
Darren, he's smiling.
That looked like a fan.
Darren, we've got to smile, Darren.
Yes, Donald, the cyborg.
52 seconds behind. 52 seconds behind.
52 seconds behind. Another one of George, Mr. Magoo, have been sent in.
More like Ben Kingsley. George looks like Ben Kingsley for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, Alan Thompson, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yes, yes.
Don't do me.
Must have been a windy day, that, Alan, was it?
Big Clint.
And
Lord.
another one of Chippers. The Fast Show.
I love jazz.
Best one yet, actually.
Nice.
Picking on you, Chippers. Picking on you.
Great show tonight. Thanks to George. Thanks to Chippers, to Donald,
Well
to
done,
Kevin, to
lads.
Darren, to Alan, to Ian. To
Yeah,
Pablo,
sure,
to
lads.
Spenny.
Good to see you all. Take care.
Yeah, well.
Take care, guys. Good night.
Bye.